Hi, I'm Lee,
And I'm Lou.
and this is Lee and Lou's Movie Reviews.
And we just got done seeing Spider-Man Brand New Day for the second time, so we could catch all the little details and, it solidified the score for us. So I know in your video you gave it an 8.5, right?
Yeah,
Okay, and you still feel the same way?
Well, I texted you shortly after, and I was like, I don't know, that might have been a little too high, but you know what? I'm going to stick with my 8.5 after watching it a second time.
Yeah. On the second watch for me, it raised it a little bit more for me, but I'm still in that same ballpark, like 8 to 9. So yeah, I'd have to say it raised to that 8.5 for me as well. There's a couple things for me that I would have changed. We talked a little bit on the drive back. What do you think? Like, as far as any changes you would have made, what did you like? What didn't you like? What worked for you? This is spoilers, so if you haven't watched the movie, you shouldn't be watching. But yeah, go ahead, dive into the spoilers. Whatever worked, what didn't. Go ahead.
So what worked for me, I'll start positive. It's funny because it goes both ways. It works and then it kind of doesn't for me. But I'm going to say the characters. I like Jean Grey. I like that we're getting an introduction of her.
Yeah.
She's coming into the picture as a fresh Jean Grey. Like, she's still learning her powers and the extent of it, and she's getting more powerful as you get towards the end of the movie. I liked her character a lot. I'm not a big comic person lover, so I don't know how accurate that is, but I still really liked that part of the movie, just introducing her.
So Jean getting introduced.
Yeah.
Was there anything else you really liked?
I liked Punisher.
Okay.
And then that's where I'm saying it kind of could go both ways though, because I also didn't like him for certain reasons.
Yeah, I mean, for every character in this movie, there's some pros, some cons.
Yeah.
I think for the most part, Spider-Man he's done well. Tom Holland, this is probably the best he's been as Peter, as Spider-Man. As far as Punisher, everybody knew him being a rated R character coming into a PG-13 movie was going to be kind of a tough task, staying true to the character without...
Was it PG-13, this one?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's PG-13, yeah. I mean, you got little kids in the theater running around.
Okay.
There was some cuss words. There was some,
There was a lot of GDs and, a lot of cursing. So I'm surprised with that one.
Yeah, but I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise because Spider-Man, they want to make that money. You can't have little kids going into the theater. So yeah. Again, with Spider-Man, his portrayal, it was perfect in my opinion. It really captures the essence of Peter Parker and what it means to, be Spider-Man. It's a sacrifice, right? So it carries on from the previous movie. No one knows who he is, and he's dealing with those consequences. MJ Ned, still nothing. He's all alone. He's being Spider-Man. He's Spider-Man the majority of the movie. You really don't see much Peter Parker. So that's a good thing, in my opinion. I love seeing him in the suit. The suit's amazing. It's probably the best looking suit since The Amazing Spider-Man 2. There's some swinging scenes that they take inspiration from Toby and Andrew. Some of the action also was elevated. So I enjoyed the movie. Punisher was a little bit Disney-fied. He can't have him really being himself, right? You know what I'm saying? Like killing people. So what didn't work for me specifically, because I love Don Bernthal's Punisher, is him and Peter should not be like best friends. In this movie, they go back and forth. It's like very, very friendly between them. And for me being a comic nerd, Spider-Man does not, he's the polar opposite of Punisher, right? He believes in saving lives no matter what. He doesn't believe in killing, and because of that distinction, like, they're always at odds. But this really felt like they were friends. They actually stated, right, that like, hey, are we friends now? Like, Peter would never be friends with Punisher. But yeah, go ahead though. Like, anything
I would
else
say
with the new characters, Hulk? You could get into Hulk a little bit if you want.
Yeah, again, it's like it goes into both areas. I liked it and then I didn't like it. I stated in my initial reaction that I think it would have been really nice to just have the focus be just on Spider-Man, Peter Parker. You're going into a transition of going from Spider kind of boy to a man, and it would have been sweet to just kind of highlight just Parker, you know, like no side characters. I would have loved that personally. It would have focused a lot more on like his abilities, you know, his spider senses, just being able to highlight who he is becoming.
Yeah.
So by having all these side characters, you know, I think it kind of took away a little bit, even though it added. It's a weird love-hate thing that I had for it.
It worked for me, but
yeah. But I think I can appreciate the characters. I did like them, but at the same time, just personally, I would have liked it if it was just Spider-Man. Because that kind of is my biggest argument why so many people love, you know, Tobey's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't know the comics, you got to find out who Spider-Man was through the movies, and he was like just highlighted in so many ways. But then on top of it, it's kind of like the opposite of what they do now with Marvel movies. Spider-Man was standalone with like 3 different villains at a time, and then now it's like 3 superheroes against 1 villain, you know, and it's like, and where's the highlighting of a superhero?
And to be fair, there's there's a true villain in the movie, but yeah, to be clear, we should have just gone through the plot, I think, a little more before diving into everything, but that's okay. We're just kind of winging it, but basically, yeah, with Peter focusing in on just being Spider-Man, he's going through these changes. If you've seen any of the trailers, his eyes are going black. He's becoming more spider than man, and he's trying to basically stop these changes from happening, but he just continues to get put in these situations where he's just diving into it head first. So he continues to evolve. I thought they were going to go somewhere farther with that. That plot line really doesn't have a payoff in the movie. That's what I'm getting at. And then as far as like Jean Grey, she is the villain of the movie. She's using innocence to do like terrible things. So yeah, she's taking over old ladies and you know, taking over you know, MJ. I'm trying to. She takes over Hulk. She's the reason that Bruce Banner fully transforms into the Rage Hulk, Savage Hulk. And that fight, man, could have been so good with Spider-Man and Hulk. I felt like it was too short. It was great when it lasted, but way too short for me. There's a lot of things I would have done a little bit differently. I feel like Spider-Man's spider sense should have been on full display in that fight. He was getting tagged a little too frequently. And he was tanking some big hits from the Hulk. So I was just like, okay, that's not the route I would have gone with it, but it was still fun. I enjoyed it. Punisher, again, he's just helping in this fight. It's pretty funny. It's played for laughs at a couple of points, but you gotta love the character because it shows like how crazy this dude is. Like, he's pulling up on Hulk with guns. Like, you know, everybody, that sounds hilarious to the average fan. You know, it's like Punisher is not doing anything, and you actually have Spider-Man say that, like, Frank, what are you trying to do? You gonna tickle him, or you know, what are you gonna do? This is the Hulk.
And even when Jean Grey takes over the Punisher, like, they highlight, like, you know, his craziness, because she's like, wow, this guy's messed up, you know, like, so I like that they, you know, stay true to him in that sense. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I think something we discussed too was just how when they were displaying his full Spider-Man takeover moments where his eyes go black, they used it at the wrong points, personally, for me. Like, I would have liked to have seen it, how we were saying, in that scene with the Hulk.
With the Hulk. It would have been great to see it.
And instead, they used it for, like, you know, the hand and for the Scorpion, you know, and characters that just aren't at that level that you would expect them to display that with.
Yes, I agree so much, because Scorpion he's a reoccurring villain from the very first Homecoming movie. I think his name is Michael Mando. He's a good actor, you know, the little bit that I've seen from like Breaking Bad. He plays a good villain, right, that menacing presence, but they do play it, you know, as if he's dealt with Scorpion multiple times over the years, right? Since everyone forgot about Spider-Man, there was like a 4-year time lapse, I believe. So MJ and Ned went to college, they got their degrees and everything. And during this time frame, they have a montage of him beating all these villains and being, you know, the best version of Spider-Man that he's ever been. So whenever they have, Tom Holland going through these changes, I can understand the struggle of him learning to use the new organic web fluid, right? Because it's an adjustment. But I agree with you. Like, the fact that this is a villain that he's taken out multiple times, it's kind of odd that they used him to be the one to kind of bring it out of Peter, where,
that was the first scene where you get to see him
in combat.
Yeah, losing that that humanity part of him. I mean, not fully, of course, but he even, like, there's a scene where he takes Scorpion and kind of slams him against a cop car that's coming, and once he comes back to his senses, he's like, oh my gosh, is she okay? And to me, I just didn't love that it was used on Scorpion, because how I was telling you, like, they should have at least given him like some type of mask, because he was getting pieced up, and I was like, I don't know if he should be conscious right now.
He shouldn't be alive.
Yeah.
Honestly, he should have just knocked out after, because that's something else I forgot to mention. Jean is controlling Scorpion in the second, I think, interaction that they have. So Jean's using him to get to these damage control sites, because she's trying to find her sister. Her sister went missing, and she's just looking for her. So that's the big, plot of the movie, really, is Peter's trying to figure out who's controlling these people to get this information. So he's trying to figure that out, and from Jean's side of things, she's trying to find her sister. The issue I had with that, again, is that she was putting innocents in danger, and I'm just like, listen, this is going to be one of the heroes that we're going to be following into this new reboot. After Doomsday, they're going to reboot the universe. We're going to have all these new characters coming in. And Jean was moving pretty, she was moving like a villain, like, truly. Like, there was, how I said, there was an old man she took over, and she, like, backed up into the street, and dude gets, like, destroyed by a car. So I'm like, she was, like, holding back against the real villain, who actually killed her sister while experimenting on her, because her sister was also a telepath. They caught her, they experimented on her until she died. This revelation comes at the end of the movie, of course. And yeah, I don't know. I wish it would have been a true villain, I guess, instead of this hero. She's supposed to be a hero. So I think I would have liked a better villain, I guess. But
interesting. So that's where I would disagree. I liked her as the villain. She kind of took on like a Magneto mindset of like humans are bad, like that's at least her impression right now because of what she went through with her sister being kidnapped and used, and anyone who's different, a mutant, like you're not gonna be accepted into like society, and you're always gonna have these problems. You can't have family or friends. All of it is just not, possible for people like us, as she says at the end to Peter. So I get what they were doing with that, and I didn't mind it. I thought it was a cool way of bringing such a strong villain into Spider-Man's world, at least for just this movie.
But she's not a villain, though.
Right, just for this movie.
I get you. She played the antagonist.
Yeah, so I think it was smart, and I can appreciate that, you can see how through her going into Peter Parker's mind and getting to connect with him for a moment of, a scene with Aunt May, and seeing how that relationship does really like bring them together, because he lost Aunt May, she lost her sister. They both are, these people who are struggling to, fit into the society.
World.
Yeah, it's hard, and they're, just having all these struggles mentally, because that's something that you don't really get to see with Peter until, you get this scene that he's going through it too, like he's another one, but he's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man choosing to continue to be the hero rather than giving into those, darker thoughts.
Yeah. Spider-Man, again, he's all over the place. He's dealing with depression. He's seeing his friend. He's seeing his ex-girlfriend be with another guy. That was kind of crazy. Yeah, it's a very solid movie. There's a lot, I know we were kind of all over the place, but it's just a lot to go over. I mean, I'm just thinking like, I know for me, I said I would have rather had Hulk be kind of like that finale instead of being in the middle of the movie. He's the fight only lasts maybe like not even a minute, like 2 minutes at most. I mean, I wouldn't even say that. Like of them actually fighting, probably less than a minute. Let me just say that. So. Yeah, so I was hoping for a bigger sequence with the Hulk. They hyped it up in the trailers. I'm thinking we're only getting a little snippet of Hulk in the trailers, and it really was the majority of the fight. That's my issue with the movie. Initially, I was a little bit underwhelmed by the movie because the marketing really just showed everything. Moments that I wanted to be surprised by, I already knew it was coming. So I'm enjoying it, but I'm like, okay, I've seen this, I've seen that. So if you were able to avoid all that marketing and really Sony just kind of spoiling their own movie a little bit, this was really enjoyable it should be very enjoyable for you. We went with our parents. My dad's not one to be on YouTube looking at different, theories and clips, TV spots. He doesn't look at any of that, and he was thoroughly surprised and enjoyed it. But
I kept hearing him throughout the movie. I sat next to him, and he had a lot of reactions to scenes like the Hulk and the Punisher shooting at the Hulk, and he was just like, wow, that's so cool, or whatever, So definitely, if you could, I mean, maybe it's too late, but avoid watching.
This is the opening weekend, so yeah. But I mean, I think the movie was really well made. Dustin Daniel Cretton, I think, is the director. He did a great job. I hope he stays on board for the rest of this trilogy. I'm pretty sure they just signed Tom to another multi-movie deal. So it's gonna be fun. I like this direction we're going for the most part. At the end of the movie, let's kind of hit these plot points real quick. This is spoilers. So again, Jean's looking for her sister. Spidey's trying to take her out because she's this villain, this antagonist, and he creates this chip that is able to like stop your powers from being active. It's like an inhibitor, or I forget what they call it, but basically he's able to shut down Jean Grey, and she goes into the custody of Damage Control, which is the same organization that killed her sister by experimenting on her. So her X gene has not been it didn't fully manifest yet. So throughout the movie, she's hopping and she's got limitations to her power. She has to hop from person to person the whole movie. And at the end, she realizes that her sister died. She sees this vent in the room, and it says VMAX. And her sister, when she was dying, sent out this telepathic message saying VMAX. But what it was is when she was looking up at the ceiling during these experiments, you could see this little tag. So basically her dying thoughts was just sending out the last thing that she saw, pretty much. So Jean realizes this, being in the same chair that her sister died, sees that VMAX, and it activates that gene to make her the Jean Grey that we all know. And she's not just limited to hopping. She freezes like everybody in New York pretty much within like a 1 mile radius. So everybody's stuck. Peter's trying to get to her before Frank is gonna take the shot, because he's that guy, right? He's a marksman, so he gets this big sniper out. He's gonna take the shot to take her out. Peter and Jean are having this heart to heart. Basically, she sees what he's been through and realizes how much pain he's gone through, and it's the first time Peter lets her in, because at this point in the movie, she was never able to get into his mind. So once her powers developed, she was stronger now. The gene fully, was fully active. She was able to get into his mind, and we see Aunt May, and it's kind of a little pep talk, you know what I mean? And it talks her down, but you just hear the bullet, the gunshot, and you just see the bullet coming, or I forget how they did it, but Peter Spider-Sense, he moves in the way, gets shot, and he's dying, legitimately dying. So, Jean saves him, and Frank takes him to the hospital. He's in critical condition, and she basically just, kept him together until his own body could heal. So, that's how the movie ends. It ends with Peter being, safe. He's saved or whatever. Frank is just being Punisher, I guess. He was in a hospital. This is a fugitive that's known for killing people, and they just have him in the hospital, like chilling, sleeping. I'm like,
that's true.
The police would have been all over that, But again, those are those things you just gotta suspend belief and just enjoy the movie. For me, as a fanboy, I read all the comics and everything. I'm like, again, Frank and Spider-Man not friends. Frank respects Spider-Man. Spider-Man does not respect Frank. You know what I mean? But Spider-Man's beloved by most heroes in the cinematic universe. Well, not the cinematic, in the comic universe. So, in the books, it makes sense. They did an iconic shot of him carrying Peter into the hospital. That's straight from a comic panel. Realistically, Frank should have dipped out after basically dropping him off because he's like, I gotta go. That would have been more realistic.
Yeah.
And then,
That's true.
But, again, those are all like little nitpicks. I truly think, again, if I could change one thing, Hulk would be the main, you know what I'm saying? The main sequence, I guess, have Jean, activate the Hulk. And then once he's out of control, she could have been a help for Spider-Man to calm him down because she could be attacking him mentally while Peter is just keeping him occupied physically, right? Trying to save people, reduce collateral damage. But again, it was a great movie.
It was still,
It was a great movie, but I'm sorry, I talked for a minute there, so okay. I was just trying to make sure everybody got the plot, though, and again, it's a spoilers review, so I want to make sure everyone got the gist of what happened in the movie. But I enjoyed it. So
I thought it was really good. Still, definitely just in the details, little things that I agree I would have changed. But overall, solid. I do like that they are kind of, you could see, forming the new Avengers, so to speak, I'm assuming. Just
Yelena's in the movie. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, just like introducing parts of the team, and just showing how like there's a bond that's being made, at the end Peter's telling Jean that, you got me. So we're starting to see that like they're trying to build something, and I'm assuming, by the time we reach Doomsday, these characters will all be coming together. Elena, the replacement for Black Widow, her sister, she was also in the movie, and she's even mentioning like New Avengers and saying like, we deal with big potato stuff, and this is small potato stuff. So it's just giving you the hint that like we're moving towards something that big again, like
the big team up.
Just interested in seeing who is all included in the New Avengers. So I personally haven't looked into all that. I did see the trailer for the first time actually today for Doomsday. I was trying to avoid it just because I don't like, seeing too much, especially after
Sony spoiled everything.
Just with this movie, I'm trying to avoid too much. But I mean, it would be cool to see Jean Grey kind of join in, maybe some more X-Men. I have no idea. But I mean, it opens that door, so.
I think they're going to do a full reboot eventually. I think Doomsday and all the Secret Wars, it's all going to kind of reset the universe. It's going to be a soft reboot. A couple characters will, continue. I hope to see Tom continue for another 10 movies. I want him to play it until he's like 50 years old, but again, I just don't want to see another Spider-Man. I know he's been talking about Miles Morales taking the torch, and I just think it would be too soon. We're just getting to the best parts of his Spider-Man. That first trilogy, again, as you mentioned, was kind of like the Spider-Boy, and now he's Spider-Man. No Way Home, when Aunt May died, that was where it's like, okay, this is now the Spider-Man that we know, we love. This is it. So, hopefully he stays on board for a while. But Yeah, but I think we kind of hit on everything. I mean, trying to think if we missed anything. As far as how they stopped Hulk, Peter talked him down. So another Hulk gets talked down with some nice words, you know. It's like sun's getting real low, big fella. You know what I mean? So I don't know. For me personally, I love the Hulk too, even though Spider Man's my guy, right? But I would handle it differently. I would have loved to have seen him use something and just think on the fly.
Yeah.
You know, when Spider Man's outmatched physically, he uses his wits to get out of bad situations. And he was in damage control. There were so many gadgets, so many things. The inhibitor, he was not able to depower the Hulk with it or, you know, stop the gamma because his skin was too thick, which was a cool detail. But it would have been cool if he could have incorporated maybe some of the other gadgets in the area. Mm-hmm. He used Shocker's gauntlet to uppercut Hulk one time. Again, that was also in the trailer, so it's not really a spoiler. But I mean, you know, it's just I really think they missed on that. I think that would have probably set the movie off to me and put it at like a 9-10 even maybe if they had landed on that fight. For me, you know, that could have made the movie. Even if, like, you know, I was gonna say, even if Jean like used him at the end when she's stuck and she takes control of Hulk to break her out or whatever, but then he rages out, and again, Spider-Man, Jean Grey team up to, you know, calm the Hulk down or whatever. That would have been cooler instead of using the ninjas at the end. The hand, the same hand that Daredevil fought, you know, they bring them back, but they're just kind of like souped up to, you know, 10 because they're on what was it, Hidden Dragon, Crouching Tiger type timing. So Jackie Chan's stunt team apparently helped with the choreography for that, and you could feel all of that. It's a really good, well-made scene. The choreography is sharp. It's unique to Spider-Man. You know, he's crawling all over the place, and he even was fighting upside down at one point, which was pretty badass. Like when he flipped and he's on the ceiling, like blocking, punching. I was like, it was pretty cool. Yeah. But yeah, so I think that's it for me. Do you have any last thoughts? Is there anywhere you want them to take Spider-Man moving forward? Is there any villains we haven't seen that you want to, you know, just see actually make their appearance in the MCU post Avengers, Doomsday, and all that? Is there anyone you still want to see that you haven't?
From Spider-Man's world, I think they've done a handful with Tom already. We've gotten the Vulture and Mysterio.
We got all of Tobey's villains and Andrew's villains in the last one.
As far as like who I want to see next, I mean, there's always gonna be Venom, Carnage. Those have always been my
favorites. Yeah.
Carnage is my favorite, like from Spider-Man's, you know,
Rogues Gallery.
Yeah. So I definitely, I'm always down to see that. I like any type of villain that's just got a screw loose, you know, and he definitely like, has that.
He's like Spider-Man's Joker, basically. He's
that's what I've always said. Yes,
Joker with powers.
Yeah.
It's just like,
so you know. It's just this really intense character. You could do so much with him, and honestly, I didn't love what they did when they had Venom through Sony. I think that was just Sony, right?
Yeah. Well. But yeah, so you were saying you want to see a better version.
A better version
moving forward.
Carnage would be great. That's just my own personal, you know, preference because I like the character so much.
I'm kind of close with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even mind seeing it kind of be like from what I've seen in, you know, Spider-Man cartoons and stuff, where there's like kind of an alliance of sorts between him and Venom because of how, you know, intense Carnage can be. Yeah. So...
Well, they haven't established Venom in the MCU, though, so that's years down the line. They're not going to do Carnage anytime soon. Yeah. I really think a smart way for them to go, because we have done most of the villains, I would say, is with Matt Gargan. He plays Scorpion in this. Matt Gargan, the Scorpion. In the comics, there is a stretch where he is Venom. He has the symbiote suit, and he's truly a menace. I've kind of gotten tired of Venom being the lethal protector, anti-hero, kind of a good guy. Tom Hardy's a great actor and everything, but those movies fell flat for me. Because of that, they didn't have Spider-Man. It just didn't work. So I would love to see that symbiote maybe latch onto him. We could maybe continue that, and he could actually be a real threat, a physical threat to Spider-Man, instead of just getting his butt whooped, as Scorpion.
That's interesting.
And then, because then you later can maybe introduce Eddie Brock, and it passes on to Eddie, and now you can have that anti-hero type of Venom, and even have him and Spider-Man team up against a Carnage, you know what I mean? But yeah, those are just, again, spitballing ideas for a future villain. I think doing Kraven properly, not whatever the hell that movie was, would be a lot. That would be really cool as well. I think Kraven done right could be a really dope villain. He was done great in the Spider-Man 2 video game. So, yeah, that was great. If they could get something like that going, I think that would be good.
And I will say, one character that I have always wanted to see come into Spider-Man's world has been the Black Cat.
She would be great.
She was supposed to in Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, but
that got canceled. So.
That didn't happen. But I would love to see a Felicia. I honestly...
That'd be perfect because MJ doesn't remember him. MJ doesn't love him in this movie.
Yeah.
They have a terrible moment for Peter where he realizes, like, hey, I'm not getting her back, basically. It's sad. But
so, like, what better way, now that that's kind of like...
On hold.
I won't,
It's on hold. It's on the back burner.
On the back burner.
Yeah.
Like, so what better way to introduce kind of like a new love interest, and not even... It's just kind of like this... flirtatious relationship between him and her that could happen as a result of that being on the back burner. I would love to see that, and she's such a solid character in all of the Spider-Man cartoons that I've watched, and I've always enjoyed their kind of banter and just the playfulness between them, and just how she pulls out a different side of Spider-Man, and
she loves Spider-Man. She doesn't love Peter. He goes to take off the mask and she's like, no, leave it out. Yeah, but I agree. I honestly thought that I thought the same thing. This leaves that window open. I would love to see Peter be paired with his Catwoman. It's that Batman Catwoman dynamic between them. Cat and mouse, won't they be a thing? Maybe not. Is her being on the other side of the log going to be too much for them in the relationship? I think it would be cool because she could compliment him and actually being, incorporated into the action, and it would just make for, I think, a new, fresh take. I'm kind of tired of, Peter always having to take care of these damsels in distress. I mean, MJ is always falling somewhere. She's always falling. I mean, Gwen, neck snap, it'd be cool to see Peter be with someone that can handle their own, where he doesn't have to worry about her. But yeah, I agree. I totally agree. That's another cool character that I would love to see. It would be kind of cool if, I said Peter, if he gets the symbiote, she could pull, again, a little bit more aggressiveness out of him even. It would be kind of cool. I think it's a good idea. It's solid. So I would love to see Tom with the symbiote. So just a little bit of aggression he showed in this movie I enjoyed whenever he did. So yeah, I agree. Some Black Cat, symbiote, a better villain, maybe, and I love the Vulture, and I thought Mysterio was cool, but yeah, I think we're ready for something a little more intense.
I think, I don't know if it's possible for them to do the Sinister Six thing.
Oh my god, I would love that too.
That would be amazing, but
bring everyone back.
I'm wondering if it's even a possibility though.
Like, how would it work?
Yeah, we were talking about Ned too, and
no. Ned is not going to be the Hobgoblin. Everyone got to stop with that. He's not.
I hope not. But he did make some points that I was like,
He's magically inclined because he was able to do the sling ring in the last movie. At the end of this movie, he remembers Peter. He either remembers Peter or he puts together that the Peter he met earlier in the film is Spider-Man. So they kind of play it where it could be either or. MJ didn't remember him. She reads that letter though, and it forces him to kind of come clean. but yeah, so MJ is kind of out of the picture, but she still got the Black Dahlia necklace from Homecoming, or not Homecoming, Far From Home.
Mm-hmm.
So she still remembers him, like she knows something's missing. And then Ned and him are basically gonna hit it off and be boys again. So Ned's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't have anything against Ned. I just don't want to see him be a villain. It's not it. It's not. It shouldn't be in the cards for him.
But that might be a possibility. You know?
Yeah. As far as the Sinister Six, though, I think I get what you're saying because there's so many different personalities. Like these villains, would they ever truly work together?
Mm-hmm.
I think you just got to use the right characters. So.
Who would bring them all together?
Mr. Negative, I think. Mr. Negative. He would be the way to go, I would say, because he also does mind control. Maybe he can control these villains and stuff. He was a big fan theory for this movie because when people were getting taken over, they were like, "Oh, that's probably Mr. Negative because he's known for that. Corrupting people, controlling them. He's the head of Feast, which Aunt May used to work at before she passed, so they could have connected him that way." If you play the Spider-Man video games, you're very familiar with him. He was in that first game.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a really cool villain, like visually, and his power set is pretty cool. I don't know if they would go back to the well with mind control again in the next movie, but I think a Sinister Six movie down the line would be great. That would be a great build-up, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because you could call back so much. You could bring back Vulture, you could bring back Scorpion if you want, you could bring back... Well, we would need a new Doc Ock.
Mm-hmm.
The Sinister Six has been composed of several villains. So
right.
They could do a Sandman, they could do Hydra Man, whatever. Electro. Yeah, there's so many things. There's too many characters that need to get introduced in Tom's universe before they can actually do that.
Yeah.
The last movie relied on Toby's past villains and Andrew's past villains, so that was kind of a cop-out. I would love to see Peter meet his Norman Osborn and be like, I know you're about to be on some nonsense, so I'm going to keep an eye on you. I can't lock you up before you turn into the Green Goblin, but I just know that, there's something is off. There's, but I don't know. I think there's so many ways they could go. Like, we could sit here and theorize for, hours, honestly, about all the different possibilities, but I think as long as they keep this creative team, they keep that director, and hopefully Tom just says yes, and pulls the Deadpool and Wolverine, does this till he's 90, right? You know what I mean? That would be awesome. He's only 30. He's only 30, so.
Get to see like a older, out of shape Spider-Man. Like,
no, we're not doing that. Yeah, that dude Tom stays in shape. I don't see him ever really being fat.
Just
but...
like, working out, getting strong.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's going to be coming out soon too. So we'll definitely do more reviews as these movies come out. That should be interesting too. But again, that's a whole other thing. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up officially now.
So
so again, 8.5. I'm right there with her. 8.5, even maybe a 9 if I hadn't seen all the marketing. But highly recommend.
Yeah.
Recommend, right? Yeah. But yeah, that's all. So we hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, see you.